Okay, so this is 2021 alumni talk. How about you all introduce yourselves first, where your programs, what programs what programs you're studying right now, where you're studying right now. We can start with Marium, Michael, Shairagavi, David, and Ken if he decides to turn on his mic.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marium, and I'm currently studying commerce at Queen's University.
I'm Michael. I'm studying computer science at Western. I have AEO, but I'm probably not going to do it. But, I still took a couple business courses, so, a little bit of information there.
I'm Shairagavi. I'm at York University for computer science, and I'm in Shopify's dev degree program. Oh, and I'm in my third year.
Oh, is it me? I'm David. I'm a first year commerce at McGill.
I'm Ken. I'm first year at Western for social science / AEO. So yeah.
So we kind of got a breakdown of where you're all from. I'm going to ask a few questions. You guys can just kind of jump in if you'd like. Of course, there might be a bit of awkwardness if you guys kind of intercept each other, but I think we can all make it do. So first question is, how much does your program cost, and can you break down the expenses? Hi, Tian. Are you okay with opening your mic, or?
Yes.
Do you want to introduce yourself, what program you're studying right now and where you're at?
Sure, I'm Tian. I'm in Rotman's, UofT Rotman's Commerce, so it's in St. George, and currently I'm in first year. Yes.
So you guys can share this if you're comfortable with it. So how much does your program cost? Hello.
Oh, okay. I'll go first. I thought we were just going in the
Okay.
same order as before. My program is, I think, pretty cheap relative to a lot of others. So I'm like 6K tuition a year. Like with Ivy, of course, it's like 25K third and 25K fourth. So if you choose to follow it, which I'm not going to, it gets pretty expensive. But just for like regular programs at Western in the faculty of, I think I'm in the faculty of science. It's like, yeah, just 6K a year. And then like other expenses like rent, food, a lot of the other stuff is covered like by the university. Like you get a free gym membership and stuff like that. And they have like
Are you
other
staying at
stuff
the
attached.
dorms?
I'm in second year. But the dorms last year, the dorms last year were crazy expensive. I was in O Hall and it was like 13 for the full year or something. Like it was way too much. But then like this year, I'm literally spending half that on like my living. It's like probably 500 a month, like all included in London. It's like not that nice, but it's like pretty cheap. So you can find stuff and like you can reasonably spend like less than probably 900 a month, 800 a month, just doing random stuff as a student.
Marium, you want to go?
Sure, I'll go next. I say that for each term at Queen's, it's about like 8K, although I do believe it gets cheaper once you're in third year. And then since I'm staying in dorms, I'd say for res, it's pretty expensive. Queen's is so ridiculous. It's about like for the full year, it's about like 16K.
Is anyone else staying at dorms, or are you all staying at home this year?
I could talk about, I stayed in a dorm last year and I'm staying off campus this year. I could say that Waterloo off campus is a lot more expensive than a lot of other places. It's like you're looking at least 600 a month, and you're most likely going to be paying like 700 a month for just housing. Dorms isn't that bad. Like Laurier in general, tuition isn't that expensive. So you're probably paying with tuition and everything like maybe 6,000 a month. So it's not that bad. I mean 6,000 a term. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it's not too bad compared to other universities. But housing is kind of where it gets expensive in Waterloo.
Well, do any of you guys recommend staying at the dorms, or do you think it's better to just stay at home and transit, unless it's out of the city?
It's probably better to stay in res first year. You meet a lot of people, especially if you're in shitty programs like computer science, it's going to be hard to meet people unless you're living in the same place as them.
David, how much is your tuition?
My tuition is I think about 8 months. I didn't think they were worth it, so I'm off campus. I just live in a condo with a couple of roommates. But I think Montreal rent's like pretty reasonable. Most upper years live in either the McGill ghetto or the plateau. It's probably around like 600.
Shairagavi?
Okay, I'm not like totally sure on this. York's courses are around like under 1,000 per course, so maybe that's like 8 to 10K per year. But for me, I don't have to pay because of the dev degree program. I get my tuition paid for me. So yeah.
I heard York has a lot of scholarships and such too.
Yeah, York has a lot of other scholarships, so like they're like pretty easy to get into because like, you know, York.
Tian?
Yeah, my program was like in the first year, it was like around 8,000, but it gets like gradually a lot more expensive. Like in the second year or something, or like one of yours gets to like 15,000 or so, but it's relatively okay. And also I also still live like off campus because like usually I think it was cost like around 10,000 to live for in dorms and like another 5,000 or so. I'm not sure if the 10,000 includes the meal plan, but I do know like the meal plan also costs like 5,000, and apparently like it's not really worth it because you don't really use up all the money and everything. And my friend is like trying to spend all of it all in like one term. So yeah. And it's like it's relatively in downtown, so like even if you like live off campus, it's relatively close to the campus. So I would also, I guess it's nice. It depends on if you want to make friends. It also depends on your program, as Michael said, but like I think it's also worth it to live off campus just because we're in downtown. It's a lot more places you could travel to, and it's closer distance.
And Ken?
Same as Michael, pretty much. I also go to Western, so tuition's about 6K, but res is really expensive. I'm at OHAL as well, and I think after tuition and res combined, without any like financial aid or scholarship, I think it's like 22 I'm paying this year.
Holy,
I
okay.
think that's also including like meal plan and all that, and all those like small fees and ancillary fees or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely all adds up. And as Tian said before, there's a question about it. Does your program get more expensive as you go to second, third, and fourth year? Does it for the rest of you, or is it just a straight line all across?
For Ivy, you jump. No, sorry.
So you can go ahead, finish your thought.
For Ivy, you jump to like 25K. You jump from 6K to 25K, but that's if you get in. So
You'll probably get in. Shairagavi?
Yeah, because like everything's per course with York, or I don't know if that's the same for other people, but I only saw like a $10 increase like per like level of year, and so it wasn't like too bad.
Do any of you guys, anyone else want to share on that question?
Yeah, I was gonna say actually for Laurier, it depending on your position, it's kind of the opposite. It gets like cheaper as like you go to upper year just because of co-op. You do like a full co-op semester, and you do have to pay for, like I think each semester you still had to pay 800 for like just to be enrolled in co-op. But I've heard like upper years say that they make like while they're on their co-op term like 20K, which they end up using to like pay for tuition and just housing after. So if you consider that, it gets like cheaper. So yeah, that's kind of good, I guess.
And about co-op, hold on, there's a question on it. Are there co-op positions available? And if there are, where are they? So do you guys have any friends who are in co-op? Are you guys in co-op? What's the co-op experience like? How much is it and everything, if you guys know?
Yeah, so for Laurier, there's like different types of co-ops. I know there's like, if you're interested in marketing, they have co-ops in marketing. Accounting, they have like a whole CPA path that you could take while you're also doing your co-op. So you could get your CPA before you graduate while also doing like 3 co-op terms. And there's also like finance terms. So if you're interested in finance, there's also like positions in like banking. A lot of there's also Laurier also gets a decent amount of like buy side people. So you'll get people who work for funds during their co-op term, like pension plan funds and that sort of thing. So it's like pretty diverse co-op. But yeah, that's for Laurier at least. That's how it is.
Yeah, I've heard about it before. I was kind of interested in a little bit. Does anyone else want to share on the co-op experiences or anything?
Western, my program doesn't have any co-op. There's an internship option that you can do. I think it's for most programs at Western in the 3rd year. So after your 3rd year, you would go and apply to this internship program. It's like worse co-op basically. If you're looking to work to like help pay for your degree or to get experience, you either want to do the thing that Shairagavi will talk a lot about, or you want to do co-op.
Actually, there's also another thing kind of related to that. Is there time to get a part-time job? Are you guys working during uni or just how's it going?
You
Yeah,
like shouldn't.
Okay,
Okay,
I was
David,
gonna
go.
let David.
Oh.
Yeah, go, David, go.
David, go.
Yeah. I'm taking a full course load, and I'm also working part-time this year as like a research assistant. I also do a little bit of like consulting stuff on the side, but it's like I don't think I would recommend it. It's quite a lot of work. Yeah.
Oh, and you're in a different like city and everything too. Is the pay's different, right? Minimum wage is
I don't
different
know.
there. How much? Oh, actually, I shouldn't ask that. But
No,
like,
what were you saying?
I was going to ask how much you got paid, but that's not a question I should be asking.
Okay.
But you're in a whole different city and everything. Isn't it hard to kind of maintain all your finances and everything?
I'm not. I don't know. I don't think I've been super keeping track. I think if you like work over summer and work part-time, you could probably pay off like all of your expenses in a year if you really want.
You're lagging so much, but I think we
Me?
got the general gist. Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad.
Michael, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think unless you're in a really hard program, it's definitely possible to work part-time. I know a lot of people who do it. I would probably, I think, also have time to do it, but you're just gonna be really tired, especially if you're living like not in a city. In a city will be easier because there's good public transport and stuff, but in places like London or probably Kingston, Laurier is probably different, like because Waterloo's pretty nice, but like the commute is going to be really bad if you're going to a job, and it's just going to make you way more tired. You're definitely going to do worse on your courses, but it's definitely possible if you manage your time well.
Marium, you raising your hand or?
Yeah, so I know at Queen's they have like a work study program that depends on financial need, and I have like a few friends doing it. I know Michael mentioned commute, but like sometimes you can get remote positions. Sorry about that. So if your work is remote and it's like you can do it at your own time, that helps a lot with managing your schoolwork as well. But obviously like it's extra work on your end, so it is going to affect your ability to participate in extracurriculars and put more effort into your schoolwork.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that so I actually did work part-time for the first 2 months of school while also doing school, and that was not like a very good experience. It was like definitely like very tiring, and just like I also did fall back in school a bit. So like I'd say that yeah, like it definitely does help with you financially. you should definitely like consider like how it's going to affect you in school, because at the end of the day you're in school for, you know, that's probably more important than part-time. So I mean, yeah, like it's definitely possible, but it's very like tiring and you're gonna get burnt out very quickly. So yeah.
Tian?
Yeah, I think they basically cover what I wanted to say, because I think for the first few months, especially for the first term, you guys, would recommend you like get used to like all the work in the uni schedule and everything, because it's a lot different from high school. And if you think you can handle it, then then I would suggest maybe try getting a part-time job, but first like test out the waters. And I also wanted to mention that UofT also provides a work study, but usually people do it during the summer, so that because like there's less courses and they can like more time for the part job. So yeah. And also if you guys want to like cover your expenses, or your tuition, I would suggest applying for OSAP, because that's what really helps me like this year. I think it covered I think all of my tuition as well. So I think that's one thing you guys they should look into like right away.
Actually, this is more of a personal question because I'm working part-time right now too. And I just want to ask, if you've worked part-time before university, how is the transition into it? Like, did you change jobs, or did you stick with the same job, or did you have to quit after going into university? Did any of you guys have to experience something like that? Ken?
I worked at Loblaws for all of grade 12. And pretty much I think I just got placed on student leave. I think if you work there long enough and you pass like probation, most places will allow you to go on student leave for a year or so and you can come back whenever. That's what I did. So yeah.
Okay. Next question is, are your classes online, and do you think it will ever go back to fully in person? I think we'll go back in person at some point, but just tell us about your experience online if you're taking online.
I'll go first. So Laurier has been online since I've been here. It hasn't been like hybrid or anything. Honestly speaking, I think there is a chance that I might graduate and I won't see like I won't actually go to a lecture. I think there is a chance, to be honest, just the way they've handled it. I think it's definitely tougher. Like in first year, it was a lot tougher because they didn't even know what they were doing. But now it's better. I'm not gonna say it's good because I feel like online school is still like a temporary solution, that like at least they thought of it as a temporary solution. So I won't say it's a good alternative to like actual school, but it's better than it was last year. So I'll give them that.
Anyone else?
I've had a lot of mine in person. This term, every single one of my courses was in person, with the exception of like one lab a week. So I was going into campus like almost every day except for Monday and stuff. It is, and last year I had fully online like everyone else. Online sucks like a lot compared to in person. I don't really know if there's like a better way to explain it. Like your professors like teaching in the halls more than they like teaching online. And most of your professors aren't even like that great to begin with or that engaging to begin with. And as soon as it like moves to online, it just becomes like miles worse. None of them are as great as Mr. Ellis. I wanted to like wait until he joined to say that, but oh well. Yeah, basically all of your professors will be more engaging when it's in person. When it's online, there's a lot that like put in a lot of effort to make it better, but it's still not anything close to the real thing.
Hey, Mr. Ellis.
Hey, am I muted? No.
No, you're not muted. Oh, now you're muted. Your camera's not on either.
Yeah, well, let's see if we can get it on here. Start video. I didn't think I was this challenged. I'm at my mother's house, so my father's old office. How's everybody doing and who's there? I'm going to obviously interrupt. Michael, I saw you, Mr. Schmidt. Okay, either I can't hear or...
Oh, no, I was muted. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I'm here.
Hey, good to see you. You look a little older.
Yeah, maybe I should grow out a beard like you, and I can.
Well,
I can really.
I'm old, period. So no, you you look pretty mature. Your face is rounded off. You look like a uni student. Looks good on you. Looks good on you. Who else is on?
There's Marium, Michael, Shairagavi, David, Hirusha, Tian, Ken.
Oh, holy smokes. Fantastic. Well, hello, everybody. I'm going to listen for a little bit and then you guys continue your talk. But yeah, so glad I could join.
Okay, I'll be continuing to the next question then. So,
Awesome.
what are the major differences between the school you have enrolled in and the business programs at other universities? So maybe you haven't switched programs or anything yet, or you never plan to, but if you've heard from your friends or anything, you could kind of talk about that, if they've dropped their programs, if it was too hard or anything. No? Anyone?
I'll say that the econ program at Laurier, people say it's like very similar to BBA, but I've heard that it's actually a lot harder. Just because the amount of work you get is a lot more work. There's more like a lot more math courses you got to take, that sort of thing. As for other programs, I'm not, other than that, it's like pretty similar the way like co-op works and everything, but I have heard that the econ program is harder, if that helps.
Yeah, probably. You guys can also kind of discuss the differences between your program, because you guys are all kind of diverse and all over the place right now, no? Just like talk about what's hard about your program, because there's a question about that too. What are the major differences, an example, workload, social life, community, independence, etc., between high school and first year? So what kind of difficulties did you face and everything? Mariam?
Sure. I'd say one good thing about Queens is that the commerce program is very tight knit. There's only about like 500 students in each year. And then the workload itself, I'd say academically, it's not that hard, especially compared to Rotman. So that gives you like a lot of time to balance your social life.
I guess since Miriam mentioned Rotman, I can go ahead and speak about that. It's definitely a lot different from when in high school. In high school, it's like you're from 9 to like 3 or something like that. But right for here, we have to construct our own schedule. So sometimes it's from like 12 to 2, or it can be at night from like 6 to 7 or something like that. So like it's definitely more different. And I think in the previous years, they also mentioned you have to be more strict on yourself, and you're managing yourself. So like if you don't go study and if you don't go to those lectures, no one will tell you to go there. And like you might think, oh, I might have class in the afternoon, I have nothing to do in the morning, and you might start slacking off. But that's where it gets you, because that's when like those are the free time you use to like go and study, like go to a library and review your notes. And I think that's what's important, especially for Rotman, because like it's pretty like heavy. And like although it might seem like you might have only like what 2-hour lectures one day, but the stuff they tell you to review and everything is a lot more than you would actually think.
That sounds so stressful, Tian. I don't know how you're coping. Anyone else want to add to it? Difficulties you're having in uni, any big changes?
I would say that at McGill, oh no, the bad Wi-Fi thing is popping up again. But basically what we have is like all the courses are hard curved to be like, I think the average is like around 70%. So if you're like you can get curved down, you can get curved up, but it's pretty wacky, and only like I think like 15% of people get like an A- in the classes, stuff like that.
Do you guys have any tips or tricks on how to succeed, at least in your first year?
Don't skip class.
Yeah, do not skip any lectures. Once you skip
one.
once, it never stops.
Are you skipping, Ken?
I have not been to my econ tutorial since September, my calc tutorial since October, and my film tutorial since September as well.
And how are your grades doing?
I honestly think I could have done better, but they're still acceptable. But yeah, just
Acceptable.
don't skip class because it becomes an addiction and you can't help yourself and you're just gonna sleep in and yeah.
Anyone else?
I mean, I'll say in first year, probably there's a lot of professors will give free marks and stuff, like attending tutorials and like saying a couple things, or attending classes and saying a couple things. And even just like they take attendance sometimes, it's like a lot of free marks. Like in some courses, it can be like up to 20% or something, or even more, like participation / attendance. So that's like really valuable. But like, yeah, I also skipped a ridiculous amount in first year, like econ and stuff. But as long, I think pretty much in person, I went to basically everything, but pretty much as long as you're going to your lectures, it's in a lot of courses, you're basically probably going to pass. It's really the difference is made like when you go home, whether you do work or not.
You guys think it comes with like the independence of being a grown up now and having to deal with everything on your own? And like David, you're out and about on your own with friends without your parents and everything.
Yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say, just to add on to everyone who said like don't skip. I was also gonna say don't take it 8:30 a.m. because you're just not gonna go. Like it doesn't matter if you're not a morning person, like you won't be able to get yourself up. So yeah, it does have something to do with just like the transition of living by yourself, I guess, too.
Let's go to the next question. Or does anyone have something to add?
I'll just quickly add that, like in high school, your coursework is worth like 70% and the finals worth 30. At uni, it's inverted. Your coursework's worth like 30% and your exam is going to be worth like anywhere from like 60 to 85%. So yeah, like the midterm doesn't really matter. But the final like is very failable.
Oh, you know how in recent years for everyone in first year right now, you guys couldn't take exams because of COVID and everything. Are you guys taking finals exams in university? Is that stressful and everything? Because you haven't taken it in a while, right?
Yeah, I would say that was definitely a big learning curve because like the studying process for exams is a lot different than like when you're studying for like a test. So it was kind of like confusing and disorienting, trying to figure out how to like absorb and remember all this information at once. But I think the good thing is that we have midterms and midterms aren't worth that much. So that sort of helps you prepare on how to prepare for the finals, which like David said, are worth like a lot more, like 60, 70%.
Oh, that's so scary. Okay, next question. Let's see. Are there any classes that you wish you took at AY, but you just didn't end up having the time or enough space to take? Like in general in high school, any classes you wish you took before it was too late?
Yeah, I kind of wish I took econ because I feel like just having that general background knowledge would help a lot when taking econ in university, especially because university is really fast paced and it's like when a whole bunch of new information coming at you really fast, it can get really hard.
Yeah, speaking about econ, I did take econ in like grade 12, but like it was online and the teacher wasn't that great. I think I would also suggest you take econ, especially for Rotman, because econ is one of the courses that most people fail at, and it's one that like even if you take it in high school, it doesn't really prepare you in university because it's a whole another expansion. But I think definitely those are one of the key courses that you should take if you're coming to Rotman. And better prepare yourself, like don't slack off and think it's like a grade 12 course and that might be useful, like or get it, you're just trying to get a good grade. Actually try to absorb the information because those are like key like foundations for your next courses in uni.
Did you want to add something, Hirusha?
Yeah, I was gonna actually say I took this course. I took accounting, but if you didn't take accounting, definitely take accounting because your grade 12 accounting is literally going to be the exact same material as first year accounting. So yeah, it's definitely very helpful.
Who was your teacher?
Mr. Ellis, best.
Anyone else? Oh,
I agree
yeah.
with Hirusha, take accounting.
What Tian said about like not slacking off in high school courses, I think that really applies to calculus. I know like for grade 12 calculus, when it was online, everyone was like really burnt out. And so obviously we weren't really putting in 100%. But then when you like ever feel like everybody had that mindset of, oh, I know I have to take it in uni, but I'll cross that bridge when you get to it. But then we got to uni and we were on that bridge and it was like falling apart. So definitely try to retain the information and actually focus in high school calc.
David.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, I agree with what Hirusha said. You should take accounting. There's like a core curriculum here, and I'm pretty sure you need to take like 2 accounting courses or something like that.
Actually, this year, I think we're going to go back online again. So I think that's a good message for any grade 12s who are watching or any grade 11s who are taking math ahead of time or want to take it sometime this summer. Okay. On to the next question, or anyone has anything to add? No? Okay. Let's see. Oh, actually, we can kind of backtrack on that. You say like take accounting, take whatever course, take economics. Are there any courses that really helped you? Like Hirusha said, accounting into university. Like any courses in high school that helped you kind of jumpstart or go ahead of others who didn't take the course before in uni?
I mean, they already said it. I didn't take accounting, and I wish I did. So they're definitely right about that one, especially if you're taking business courses. It really hurt a lot. The CS department in AY, I'm not sure whether it's still really good. It was really good with Ms. Lam. Basically, my entire first year was, you don't really have to do anything because you already know all of it. Same was a bit different. Economics, also, my mark was probably boosted like upwards of 20% just because I took it in high school. And then stuff like, I mean, law can be useful if you're going into business, and just anything that Mr. Ellis teaches would be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have a question for everybody. Now, in the past, I have students have come back and said the financial securities really helped them in the corporate finance or the intro to finance. I'm wondering if at least it gives you a start so that not everything is new. So for anybody that took that course, I'm interested in any feedback, things that we should have covered. Just for future students, I can cover it a little bit more, because now we're at the point where more people are taking it, but I've got to help students that are in university. So I'd love to know what would have been better in the financial securities course.
Right, I took it. It was actually, for this year, it was really helpful because I had finance this year. So I definitely remember like concepts coming back from that. You did a really good like job just like introing it, I guess, because I feel like a lot of other stuff you learn is like pretty advanced for high school students, like kind of like, you know, modeling and that sort of thing. So I think that overall, like the course was very like good at just like introing the topics and the subjects. So yeah.
As someone who's taking it right now, they don't tell you, but a lot of students who didn't take any business courses before this, they seem a little lost and they're messaging me, oh, Nancy, do you know how to like do this? They just seem a little bit lost, but I think they're getting there. Like they get what's happening. They just don't know the full background kind of story on it.
Are you talking about our financial securities course?
Yeah, some people.
Yeah, and that's what Nancy's saying is we have some awesome students that are not business students, and I know they're having a hard time, but they're doing awesome, and I'm marking pretty generously. So because they're getting like 14 or 15 out of 25 on their tests, but their effort in class is phenomenal. So I really don't care because they're learning so much practical stuff. But if there was something like maybe, I was thinking more like our future value, or I was thinking return, anything on the return side, maybe I could drop some of the market stuff and bring in a little more theory. So love, continue on for anybody who's taken that financial securities course. And I do like that feedback, Nancy. I'll ask you for that at the end of the semester for sure.
Okay. Next question, guys. What are some ways that students can effectively build a peer network once in university? Actually, yeah, I was kind of thinking about that one because I know all my friends want to go to a bunch of different universities. We're all gonna like dispatch and everything. We might not become as close as we used to be. Are you guys? Did you guys keep in touch with your high school friends? How is it making new friends in university? The whole pizzazz and everything. Any intakes?
I guess I can start because I haven't talked in a while, and this is kind of good because like York is like a highly like it's a commuter school. Like everyone is like in the Greater Toronto areas, and they all like commute. So it's really hard to like make friends. Hi. Yeah, it's really hard to make friends. I was lucky because like the way like my dev degree program is built, like I had people that I met like the week before, and I went into them, and like we all had like a group chat and everything, and that was cool. But if you're in a commuter school and you don't have like a built-in like kind of given to you group of friends, a lot of like classes they'll do like discords for like the class, and like people will like ask for help and everything, and that's like super helpful. Like, and you know, it's Discord, like people are okay to just talk about whatever on Discord too, so you can make friends that way. And I would say another way is, I guess you could join clubs. It's a little harder now if like things are still online, like it's harder to, a lot of clubs don't run, but the ones that do run, I highly recommend like trying to find something that you like and joining there.
Anyone else?
For me, you could just literally just walk on your floor and say hi to everyone, and you'll probably have a pretty good friend group after that. Because everyone's friendly, everyone's outgoing, everyone knows what they're going into by living on res, and you know there's a chance there's going to be a couple people who don't want to say hi, but that's nothing much to care about.
Honestly, knowing you, that's probably a thing only you can do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say in res, it's like really easy to meet people, and in business too, because all the business kids want to network with each other. So if you just like casually mention it, all of a sudden they'll want to know you for your unique skill set and stuff like that. But like if you just leave your door open on res, or if you walk around a little bit, you'll meet like a lot of people. 50+% of them will be drunk, but that doesn't really matter. You know, you still meet them and can talk to them later. And then in computer science, I've met a lot of people in my program, like through Discord and through lectures, just because there's like ones for the entire program where people will talk about work and such. But be careful on those because the professors are also in them and they will catch you if you cheat.
Marium?
Well, I know for QCon, like a lot of people, including myself, met people and then made friends before the school year started, mostly through like, and like a lot of universities do this, like one person will start up an Instagram account and then it'll be like an introduce yourself page. So from there, you can just sort of like reach out to people who have similar interests with you. And then honestly, I think that's how a lot of people developed friend groups like throughout the summer.
Actually, for the people who have been in uni for a little bit now, how did you guys kind of keep up with your connections? Because as you get older, you meet more people, so many more people, and it's like hard to keep up with everybody, your social life, networking and everything. Is it easy? Is it hard? Do you try to manage it a lot, or?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of noticed your circle definitely does get smaller from like high school, maybe as time goes on too. Like, I mean, you'll still be around like the people you still like, you know, you talk to, right? But it's like in high school, everyone you meet, like a lot of people you see, it's like you're friends with them because you see them every day, right? It's not really like that in like a past high school when everyone graduates, but Yeah, I guess it does get smaller, but it definitely does get closer too. So yeah.
Anyone else?
I think first year is like the time to like meet as many people as you can, because then as time goes on, like you and your friends, your close friends in your uni might not take the same courses as you. So you'll have to find like other partners. And like if you have more connections from first year, then you can like always see whoever's in like your class and like reach back out to them and just be like, hey, let's like work on whatever together. Not like in a cheating way, just like a study partner way. But yeah.
Definitely, we do not condone cheating here. Okay, next question, or you guys want to add on or anything?
I want to say I freaking love seeing all your faces. Marium, Shairagavi, David, Michael, Ken. Yes, even Ken. I miss him too.
Okay, we'll go on to the next question. What extracurriculars are by now too common that do not impress the admission officers anymore?
I forgot Hirusha. Sorry.
I feel like that question is maybe talk about what you've seen so far when you were getting admitted into universities, the extracurriculars that you think helped you into your admissions and everything, or any other extracurriculars you saw your friends have and that kind of just threw them off guard or something. Anyone want to talk about that?
I mean, oh, go ahead, David.
No, you can go, bro.
I'll just say this. Everyone I've met so far at universities did DECA. So you putting down like a DECA member doesn't really like give you a boost over anyone. If you were a person that held leadership responsibilities, then it's different. But if you're just writing down DECA, you're not that different from everyone else.
David?
I don't think any extracurricular that you're like actually passionate about is good, like regardless of what it is. I'd say the only like bad ones that columns won't like are like if you're just running a bunch of clubs to your essays, and I think that's the only bad thing because they can usually tell.
You're cutting out so much, David. I think we got about half of that.
I miss David too. Jesus, I miss you.
Marium, you want to have a go? I know you were a lot of things, weren't you?
I don't know about that, but I would say I think another really common one along with DECA is student council. But then again, like what David said, it doesn't matter, like regardless of what the activity is, it depends on how you present it. So what they're looking for is you talking about your growth, your commitment, your impact, and your passion. So sure, like a lot of people have been on student council, a lot of people have done DECA, but you really have to tell your own story with it. And as long as you like hit those requirements, that's all they want to see.
Anyone else?
All right, I'll say whatever. I think I hate extracurriculars. Doing them in high school is pretty fun. I think a lot of people do a lot of them. I think if you're not learning anything from doing the extracurricular and you're not like developing some skill or developing your own personality or anything like that, whatever, not worded correctly, but if you're not learning anything from doing the extracurricular, you should not bother doing it. I don't think people are that impressed by titles anymore in admissions. I mean, obviously I'm not getting this information from an admissions officer, but if you're not learning anything or if you're not enjoying an extracurricular, just don't bother doing it. Don't waste your own time.
Yeah, definitely from my own experience too. I think so too. Especially if you don't enjoy it, it's harder to like maintain your position, try to keep up with everything too. How about next question? How many universities?
Sorry, I have something to say. Okay, yeah. So like I want to add on to that because a lot of people like I think nowadays like because everyone thinks that admissions officers want to see like that you in a leadership role, and that's good, but like using a lot of like like when you're describing your title, like a lot of the buzzwords, like, yeah, that's good. But then it also doesn't sound like you know what you're talking about if you're throwing out a lot of like random words. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but like my brother's applying to uni right now. He's in grade 12. He's in Shiza. You all know him. But yeah, I'm trying to like figure out how to like, I don't know, when I read over his things and edit it, it just kind of seems like people seem to be like trying to emphasize that they did like leadership stuff and not like they were really passionate about it. I feel like that's like really important. Like you really need to find like a way to like convey that you're super passionate about the clubs you're in, like what Michael said. Also, this is like maybe not so helpful now that like the school year is halfway through, but I feel like the clubs that say club sound like they're less than they are. So I don't think the issue is creating a lot more executive positions for students. I think the issue is renaming the clubs to not say club. Like business council sounds great, but like physics club sounds stupid. Okay, that's my point.
I think it was great. Marium?
Yeah, just bouncing off of what Shairagavi said, I think rather than saying stuff about the leadership skills you acquired and whatnot, try to focus on showing. And that's where like you really have to choose your extracurriculars wisely. Try to pick stuff that you actually genuinely enjoy, because it'll make it all the more easier to talk about, because you'll have like specific stories and experiences to pull on. And like sometimes the university, like the sub-apps, they'll ask like really insightful questions which require a lot of self-awareness. So it definitely helps if it's something that you are actually passionate about.
Tian, did you have something to say? We'll try to wrap this
Yeah.
up quickly for you.
No, I'm good. I can still say, I was gonna say the same thing as Marium, because for me, I enjoyed all the clubs I joined, and I felt like that made it a lot easier to write all those applications, everything, because from each one of those like in those moments, I can actually pull out something that's more meaningful or something more like unique that the people who are grading it are like they want to see, because that's like they don't really want to see like higher positions. They want to see something more individualistic, something like you could think that person could make, I don't know, a change in that school. So actually pulling out experiences, and it's key to make those experiences. So don't just like get an exact position and then just do the job you're told to do something more than that, and do something like you actually want to do. Like, I don't know, for our business council, if like from last, we like, even though it was online, we did a lot more like different events than we would do in person. And I think those are like a lot more interesting, and you can actually there's something to actually write about that people haven't heard of.
Yeah, you keep hearing about those individual characteristics and then you don't know what to write about it, but it's honestly just based on your own experiences and what you took from them, right?
Yeah, like even if they are maybe similar to other people, it's like if you actually feel passionate and if your own emotions is in there, it will show through your actual writing. That's what I
think that was great. Yeah, that kind of helped me too. Okay. Should we go on to the next question or? Okay. So how many universities did you guys apply to and how did you choose the one that you're currently at? Anyone want to put in a word for that?
I could talk about my decision in choosing Laurier. I could say that a lot of it was kind of based off the fact that they have a good co-op program, and I knew that I wanted something that would help me, like, you know, get good experience. So that was definitely something that drew me to Laurier. And also, like, not to say anything against Ivey. Ivey's a great school, but like for me personally, I wanted to, like, you know, have like all 4 years just be like not like the way Ivy works. I'm pretty sure is like third and fourth year is kind of like compressed of like all the business material you learn. It's like its own degree, and I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to kind of learn like all 4 years, like be focused on that degree. So yeah, that's kind of what put me in like Laurier. So yeah.
Oh, also for your Actually, Michael, did you have something to add earlier? I saw you.
Nothing that can't wait.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, I applied to 7 schools. Probably like 4 of them were backups. My calculus grade was terrible, so I got automatically rejected from Waterloo, and so I was just okay. I'll just do like Ivy at Western, and I'm not even doing Ivy at Western, so it's all worked out incredibly well. What I will say, why I chose to do like Ivy as the business program, I like cases. I think cases are probably one of the best ways to teach business. Obviously, there's other schools that have found success teaching them other ways, but I just really like the case method, and that's the one that you choose to do. I agree that the 2 years at the end method is like probably not ideal, but it might be better than paying 25K every year for 4 years. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Anyone else?
I can go next. I applied to 5 schools. I did not choose Waterloo AFM because I didn't want to confine myself to just accounting and finance. And I also didn't like the 5-year thing of it. And I also didn't like that you get no summer vacation. I didn't pick Ivy because I hated the 2+2 structure. And then Schulich, I didn't really like the program structure of it. Rotman, I felt like the specialization options were really limited, so I also didn't want to be confined to that. And so now I am at Queen's.
So end of the story, really do your research and know what you want.
Oh yeah. I made a whole spreadsheet to make my decision. So definitely do your research and talk to people in the programs.
I'm not sure if other people would suggest it, but what I found helpful, like actually going into like Reddit and reading all the individual stories, because what I found out from there is like, I don't know, most people from Ivy graduated with like in finance, and in Queens it's more diverse, and so is Rotman. I think those things really help me, because then if you really want to go into like, let's say finance, then maybe Ivy might be great, because then you can meet those kind of people. Or if you want to be more diverse or like go into management, maybe choose Rotman or something like that. I think learning from other people's experiences, and I think in Reddit they're mostly pretty, I think they're pretty true. I would hope so, like in my opinion, and I think those give me like a deeper insight than actually going to the actual school websites, because that's what they don't tell you there.
Yeah, there's definitely no censorship on Reddit, and like Marium said, I guess it's kind of just going into seeing other people's experiences, getting to know people in the actual programs or universities that you want to go to, right? Okay, last question, guys. Well, last general question. How long does it take you to adjust to the new environment university comes with? I feel like we've already kind of talked about this, but if there's anything else you want to add to it, go ahead. Anyone?
It's like, sorry.
So you can go.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think it was about a month. And then after that, it was pretty chill.
What wasn't you say yours is the hardest? Because you're like, actually no, you're all kind of out and about, far from your homes and everything. Tian?
I was gonna say, like, for me, what messed me up was like the different schedule. Like I mentioned, like in 12, like some classes start at 12, so I don't really know what to do in the morning. That's what really messed me up, because in school, like you have your own individual schedules, and your friends now have different schedules too, so you can't really meet up. So I think you really have to find like maybe a friend group or set a time where you like go to the library, like from, I don't know, from 9, and then study there, and then go to class from there at like 12. Because that way, if you're like, maybe if you're at home or at your dorm and you don't have a specific schedule for yourself, you'll tend to like slack off more or waste your time trying to find something to study or do something. So I think it's best to like either use Google Calendar or write down your own schedule if that works for you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, okay. I'll interrupt Marium here. Basically, res is like in first year, res is like your best bet for like if you want to like slower transition into actually living on your own, because you will have food provided for you. You won't have to actively like pay rent and interact with your landlords like every month or whatever. You won't have to worry about heating. You won't have to worry about internet, and you'll be living with a bunch of people who are in the same situation as you. So like res is like a good transition period for like actually taking care of yourself properly. Yeah, and yeah, use calendar apps. They're like really, really good. Constantly remind yourself so you know what you're like, plan your days ahead of time, because otherwise you're just gonna waste them basically. And then, but yeah, you kind of adjusting. I don't think is as hard as people think it is, just because you're forced into it. If you don't do it, like you're screwed. So you will do it.
Marium.
Yeah, honestly, contrary to what I expected, I think I adapted pretty fast to university. I was genuinely expecting to be like crying myself to sleep every night, being so far. But it actually went really well. And one thing that I think is really important, especially if you're moving out, or honestly, even if you're at home, is to have a really good support system of friends. So like pick your friends wisely, make sure that they have like similar values as you. And then also have structure. So my Google Calendar was like my saving grace. Even if something, like obviously put your classes in there, but even if something is like not fully structured, like I would literally be putting breakfast, gym, study in there. So like just having that structure to look at makes your day so much more easy to follow. And then you don't get caught being lethargic and wasting time.
Anyone else?
I feel like you don't even have to start that in university now. Like, do it now while you're in grade 12, like second semester. Even if your second semester is not that hard, like if you're taking calc, I feel like that's just already a good excuse to like start learning to manage your time. Because then it gets a lot easier once you like have already practiced it.
Yeah, I've been trying to get into that recently too, but I'm not very good at it, but I think I'll work on that.
Something I do is, I mean, it might not work for everyone, but I have like multiple ways of keeping track of like my due dates and what I need to do, just so every time I finish something, I get to cross it off in all those places. So it feels like, feels more productive. So yeah.
It's like closing off all your tabs after a big assignment.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, so these are more general. Welcome back, Tian. These are more targeted questions. So I heard that for Western's Ivy program, you would take it for the last 2 years of university instead of 4 years like Rotman. I also heard that your acceptance into that program will depend on your GPA for the major you have chosen in your first 2 years. Would choosing an easier major give you a better chance of getting into the Ivy program?
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm in social science. So most business kids, or most people who are like set on Ivy, typically do business management as their first 2 years. But I didn't want to do that, so I just did social science because it's a lot easier. So like one of my friends, she had like she had to do like accounting and like management and finance and all that in the same semester, and I had to watch movies for film class. So pick wisely.
Yeah, I'll also say like it's better to choose the easier major. You should take business courses as well, and they won't hurt your GPA that much. Really, there's like 3 requirements for Ivy basically. You need 80% average. You need to take four actually. You need to take full course load for all your terms in the first 2 years. You need to have like 3 extracurricular kind of things. I'm not really sure about that because I don't do any. And yeah, you need the GPA. One of the courses that you take in your second year that you need to take in order to get into Ivy, you need like a 60 in it, and I think it's curved to a 60. So just be aware of that. But getting the 80% overall average is pretty easy if you choose an easy major, which you should.
This is also targeted towards Ivy. So what kind of jobs can you expect to land after completing your Ivy program? Have you thought about that yet?
there's a lot of finance bros. I mean, it's kind of target school. I don't know. People will go, you will get a job. I'm pretty sure they have like really high rates. You can probably look up on their website what like the average, they do like alumni censuses or whatnot. So you can probably see what types of jobs people have, like how much they're getting paid. It's like case focused learning. So a lot of it might even be consulting, probably less actuaries or something than like places like Waterloo or Queens. Queens probably even has more finance people. Western or Ivy is probably more consultant focused or like management areas. Yeah.
Ken, do you want to add on or?
I got no clue, to be honest. I think the most popular one was consulting, if I remember, but yeah, I have no clue.
Actually, I feel like that's a question that can be targeted to all of you. So do you guys have a certain plan or anything? Do you know what's available to you once you're done, if you finish, or if you got a backup, if you want to switch out or anything? Anyone can jump in.
You know what? I'll segment into this, give them a chance to think. But I just wanted to thank everybody for being here. You guys are phenomenal at giving fantastic feedback. And I really appreciate seeing everyone. I know I forgot a couple names. I think David, I forgot yours, and Tian, but all of you have matured. Thank you so much. Continue to give back, and trust me, you'll get twice as much back for your futures as well. So thank you. I'm gonna take off because I'm at my mom's doing her taxes, and so you guys should learn how to do your taxes too. All right, so Happy New Year to everyone. Please be safe and take care of yourselves. And hopefully Omicron is just a small O and a small deal for us. But anyway, take care of yourselves. So I'm gonna shout out. See you guys. Thanks, Nancy, for doing this. Thanks, David.
I'm sure some of you guys do taxes now, right? All of you? Most of you?
I have to for this year. It's kind of bullshit.
All right. So exciting. Have you guys thought about the question? Any jobs you expect after? Do you know any available options for you guys?
I guess I could start off. So for us, they have like sample jobs that they give us each year that kind of have been given out to previous students, like who've been looking at like postings in like previous years and like what they were able to secure. Through that, there's like a bunch of jobs, like I mentioned earlier. There's like marketing, like you could be an actuary, you could be, you know, finance, not as much consulting, I don't believe, but there are consulting positions. But yeah, for me personally, I haven't even done my first co-op, so I wouldn't even be able to say like where I want to go or like what I want to do after university based off like the experience I have now. I'd say like I'm interested in finance, but again, like you never know. Things could change as like the positions I get. So yeah.
Everyone at McGill also tends to go into finance or consulting. I would probably even go so far as to say it might not be worth coming here if you aren't super interested in anything similar to those fields. I just don't think it's worth it if you're not gonna study then, because it's like you'll just die.
Marium?
Yeah, Queens is also a pretty big target school for consulting and investment banking both. But like David said, if you're interested in accounting and like you've already like blocked out other career paths, then I would definitely say don't come to Queens, go to AFM instead, because you'll get that co-op experience and you can like fast track your CPA.
Anyone else? No?
I mean, I'm not in business, so I can't really
You
say
can talk
much
about your
about
major
this.
What is
too.
Michael
Right.
doing here, actually?
I get this. I can answer the Ivy questions, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in CS, so it's work as a developer. I'm not at Waterloo, so it's not Cali or bust, but it's still Cali or be slightly less happy.
Well, we're out of questions, so unless Anthony or Matthew has any questions, I can't really think of any at the moment. But if you guys want to add anything, you can kind of.
Sure. I can try to add in like for UofT, but like for us, I don't know. I think we are like pretty scattered. I had like this alumni talk from us, like from UofT, and like all their jobs are like pretty diverse. Like there's some from banking, there's some from like small like startup companies as well, and some from America. So I think I've also heard of consulting and probably accounting. If they do accounting, they probably go into like banks like TD and stuff like that. So I guess it's pretty diverse too, since we're in downtown. So there's a lot more different kinds of jobs you might not like discover, like you might not know exist.
I was told to be quiet. I kind of forgot I was at the library. But if anyone has anything else to add, you can. Anything else?
I would just say like take advantage of like whatever resources your school offers and like try to make the most of it. You would actually like be surprised that a lot of these universities and stuff like that, they have a ton of programs that are there to help you. I would also say like don't be super focused on like one thing, like try hard in school or try hard in like extracurriculars. Try to find a balance, and like part of college is still to have fun. So I would definitely say like that should be something you keep in mind as well.
I would also say like use your resources as well. I didn't really know this at first. I didn't know it was that useful, but like we have this thing like study centers where there are like students from upper years that are well versed in whatever study center you're at, and like they really help you, and they really help you study, and like they're pretty knowledgeable. Although they might not know everything you ask them, they're enough for you, like especially for first years, to like help you understand everything. And it's sometimes a lot better than what actually professors say, because they're coming from a student point of view. So like professors might be like, at least for my professors, they were sometimes a bit vague with what they say, but students, like they kind of tell you more straightforward way, like how, like especially for econ. And there's also things like called office hours where professors help you or TAs help you. And I think I didn't really use that at first, but that really did help me, especially when I was stuck or didn't understand a specific topic in the course.
Marium?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, don't close any doors on yourself when like you're thinking about careers. Like I know a lot of students come in and they're like, I'm gonna do investment banking. Meanwhile, they don't really know what investment banking is. Just keep an open mind and really talk to upper years and talk to people who talk to like alumni who worked in these roles. Like I remember I had like this mentor who graduated from Queens and went into accounting, and like she worked at the Big Four for a while. I think she worked at Deloitte, and so she was able to tell me about her experience, what she liked and what she didn't like. And it's really interesting because she actually ended up quitting her job at Deloitte, and now she works in like some role at a Queens startup company. It's called 437. I believe they actually had a warehouse sale at Western recently too.
Yeah, that happened. I don't really know much about it. I think they sell something that is not a product I would buy.
Well, you never know.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, I'll ask you guys later if anyone wants to include their socials for anyone who wants to ask any extra questions, and we can start recording here. Marium and Matthew, please.